Hi and welcome to Slick Willy Fly. Today we're going to make a Furry Charlie. So this is another variant of a gotcha Charlie fly. Super simple tie. What I have in the vise is a B10S stinger in size 6. I used a little bit of this Ultra 140 denier orange. And then to wrap the body, I used this ribbing. I've had this ribbing for 20 years. So I don't have an actual color. It's not white. It's called Larva Lace Shrimp Body. I mean, you could see by the packaging, this stuff is old. I'm gonna use a little bit of Krystal Flash. To give it the furriness, I used Ostrich Herl. One little strand of Ostrich Herl. This is a super simple tie, but I mean, I think that looks awesome. That looks so alive, for lack of a better word. And then I'm gonna throw some rubber legs in and you know, it's simple tie. So hope you're having a cocktail. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Let's change the camera angle and let's tie a fly. Okay, so let's pop this thing out of the vise. Let's put it on a little holder and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start my orange 140 denier thread. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the bead chain eyes on. And don't forget, when you take your bead chains off the chain itself, I always use wire cutters to not damage my scissors. So I want to point out that I'm into the bend of the hook with my thread, and that's important, and I'll show you why. We use the fly I just tied as an example. So when this fly is laying down, let's say it sets all the way down, it's laying on the sand, that little bit of Krystal Flash isn't going to lay flat, it's going to come up. And that's the entire reason why we take the thread into the bend. Okay, so bead chain eyes. I want to put them about the length of the bead chain eyes back. And then I do a few wraps in one direction and a few wraps in the opposite direction. A few more. And a few more. And I never ever count my wraps. I think that's getting a little silly, but this is the important part. Once I like where it's sitting, I give it these figure eights over the hook, under the bead chain, and that really just draws everything in nice and tight. And normally I would put a little bit of super glue on it at that point, but because I'm going to use a little bit of UV resin on the knot at the end, I don't really think I need the super glue. So now I'm going to get one strand of Krystal Flash, and hopefully it won't get all boogered up when I pull it out. And of course it did. That's okay. We can unbooger it up. And once I get it all straightened out, which now I do, I'm just going to fold it on top of itself 3-4 times. Because I really do not want a long tail, very short tail. So this fly is a cross between a Charlie and a gotcha. And I'm sure that some people will say this is a gotcha and others will say it's a Charlie. The truth is that for me, both those flies are so similar that I don't really care what you call it. Because it's just a matter of catching fish. Who cares what it's called? Alright, so I tied my Krystal Flash into the bend, just like we had just spoken about. And now I'm going to go ahead and trim the length. And the length I want it to be short, at the most 1/4 of an inch. Just like that, very short. This isn't about the tail. So now I'm going to go ahead and tie on one Ostrich Herl. And you can use any color you want, but I really like this brown. And I'm gonna hand pick one that's gonna be pretty long, just to make sure that I don't run out of the ostrich when I'm wrapping. We're just gonna put this right at the back of the hook and tie it in. It's important that it get tied in right where the Krystal flash tied in. And now I'm going to tie in my ribbing. A lot of times I'll start at the bead chain, and I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to do super hard wraps at first, to keep this ribbing right on the top of the hook, which is reality, it's the bottom of the hook. All the way back. And once I'm happy with where it's sitting, I'll go back and I'll give it some good hard cranks, just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, now I'm going to get my thread out of the way. Get my thread holder going. And I'm actually going to use my rotary function. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this vinyl ribbing, and it's going to have the appearance of being somewhat tight, but I'm actually trying my best to leave a little gap between the rows of ribbing. And once I'm here, that's plenty. So I'm just going to bring my thread under. Get that out of the way. Lock that in. Lock that in. And now we can cut off this little tag. I usually pull it a little, which makes the cutoff look a little nicer. So now I'm going to take my ostrich, which, oh man, that's a shame. I hope it's long enough. It broke. Gosh, I hope I'm long enough now. But I'm just going to fit it in that little gap that we were talking about. Working my way up the body. Carefully, and look at that, we had enough. So now we're going to trap that, capture the ostrich, and we can trim that off. Alright, so now we're going to invert the fly, and we have a choice. We can either do Krystal flash first, or we could do deer hair first. I think both are good. A lot of times lately I've been putting the deer first. And we're going to do the same thing now. You don't need a lot of deer hair. I mean, a very, very small amount of deer hair is all that's needed for this fly. I'm going to go ahead and use natural deer hair. This is fine deer hair. And that's okay. I mean, it's so short. I personally don't like stacking it for this fly. I like to have the randomness of the fibers. One thing that I do like to do though is I'll trim the butt ends. I'm not really trimming it off because it's already, you know, kind of a short deer hair. I'm just trimming them straight so that when I tie it in now, it ties in a little bit cleaner. So I'm just going to give it a couple loose wraps. I don't want it to start flaring tremendously yet. And now I'm going to crank on it. Just like that. Perfect. You know, that little bit of flare you saw, that's not going to amount to anything. That's going to clean up, easily clean up as we apply the Krystal Flash and the silly legs. And there's my wing. Perfect length. Love the way that turned out. If you ever think it's a little too wide, you can always give it one wrap right between the eyes like I just did there, and that keeps it nice and centered straight back. So now I'm going to get 1/2 piece of Krystal Flash, because even that's really too long. And we're going to fold it in half. It's important that the thread come up right to the back of the dumbbell eyes. You can open your loop here, it doesn't matter. But I have folded it in half, and now I'm placing it onto the thread. It's about even, more or less. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it right on the hook and lock that in. Just like that. Perfect. Alright, so now I have one of the silly legs. I think I said that I'm using this pumpkin blue, it's from Fly Enhancer, it's from Hairline, silly legs, pumpkin light blue. It's a kind of a cool color, and I'm going to fold it in half, and again I'm going to cut open the loop, and again we're going to do the exact same thing. Right onto the thread. As even as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and put them right on top. Couple of wraps, making sure that they kind of divide up. I don't want 3 on one side and 1 on the opposite side. So I kind of just spread them out a little. And now I'm going to go ahead and lock this in really well. And now it's just a whip finish. I mean, this is a super simple tie. Super effective. I mean, it really doesn't get easier than this. Super, gets just a ton of bite. And because we're going to use the UV resin, we don't really need to do another whip finish. Just making sure I like the way everything looks. It's easier to do any trim work or anything you're going to do now. I think it looks great. Super happy the way everything turned out. Take a second and put stuff where you want it now. Divide up the Krystal Flash. Divide up everything. Because now is UV resin time. And this is just one little drop on each side. One drop. One drop. Spin it a little, making sure it looks good. Get a needle. Make sure that nothing went in that hole, the eye. And now I can get my lamp and just zap it. Looks like my battery's dead. Well, that's not good. Take a 2-second pause, I'm going to get a battery. Alright, so there's another tip. Make sure you have batteries in your light before you start using UV resin. As you can see, it's not really a problem. You're not in a hurry with UV resin. You don't need to fear the resin at all. But I'm super happy the way this fly turned out. And I'm going to trim one of the little silly legs. Has a little tag on the end. Take that little tag off. And the legs came out pretty different length, which I like that. And yeah, great fly. Alright, so welcome back. So there it is, the Furry Charlie. You know, this is a great fly. That combination of the ostrich with the ribbing will make it nice and tough, and the ostrich just makes it look like it's alive. I mean, it just looks awesome. This is a great inshore pattern. Bonefish, redfish, anything in the inshore really, but permit, you know, anything of that kind of a nature. This is a great fly for those kind of species. I'm having a little trouble putting this in my little holder here. But there it is. Awesome fly. The pumpkin silly legs, pumpkin blue silly legs, just I think makes it look a little bit more crustacean. It's a wicked little fly. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Good luck catching, and see you on the next video.